Hello, you lovely people, and welcome to the fourth and final episode of Living on €100 a month. Over the last 3 weeks, we have had great meals on a budget, and this week will be the grand finale. And for that, in terms of recipes, we are going to Mexico, baby. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is everything we have left from the last 3 weeks. Now, obviously, we still have some pantry items that I didn't use up. So, for example, we have a tiny bit of regular rice left. And I also found some risotto rice. Now, I was looking for a recipe for rice and I realized that I didn't have enough normal rice, but I do have some risotto rice as well. And you know, when push comes to shove, it's all rice. So I think we're going to use this up this week as well. We also still have quite a lot of flour. We do have black beans, we do have red lentils, and we have a tiny bit of kidney beans left. We still have, well, not all the pasta in the world, but we do have 3 boxes of pasta left and 1 tin or 1 can of sweet corn, an apple, and some carrots. And after what happened to my last carrots, somebody commented, and I'm afraid I don't know who it was at the moment, but thank you for that comment, that they stored their carrots in water in the fridge and that worked a treat. So my carrots are still good and we can still use them this week. Perfect. Oh, and we obviously still have some onions and some garlic, so that's also still here. But yeah, this is about what we have left. And now I'll show you what I bought for this week. And I knew I'd forget something. We still have about half a box of frozen green peas. And this is everything I bought for this week. As in every week, I needed some more oat milk, so I bought 2 bottles of my regular oat milk for €2.29 each. And you can see I already broke into that one, but it's fine. I'm mostly using it for my coffee. Don't need it really for a specific recipe, so I just like to have it at home. I also bought 1 more bag of flour, 65 cents, like always, because I think we will need quite a bit of flour this week, and I wasn't sure if I had enough, so just in case, I bought another bag. I also stocked up on chickpeas. I like to have dried chickpeas in the pantry just in case I decide, to cook with them. And so I bought quite a lot of chickpeas for around €4. I'll show you the receipt later, but this big container cost around €4. Then I bought a huge bag of potatoes. I know I said that it's springtime and I don't want to eat potatoes, but guess what? The weather has been horrible for the last 6 weeks here in the south of Germany. We've had so much rain. It was quite cold, and so I felt like buying potatoes. Obviously, now that I've planned this whole week, the weather is better. So now actually it's warm and we have sunshine, but I bought the potatoes and will eat them. So this huge bag of potatoes was around €3.50. And I think that's about 2 kilos, maybe 2.5 kilos. Then I bought some vegan mayo at Lidl. I usually do not use mayo, but in this case I need it for a recipe, so I bought this one. I don't know how good it is. We'll see. Then I also bought some vegan butter because I was out, so I needed a new one. This costs $1.69. The mayo I have to check. And then I also bought at Lidl this vegan cream. It's supposed to be like sour cream. And when I was at home, I remembered that I had tried this before and that it was quite solid, like not like real sour cream. So just in case that this does not work with the recipes that I'm thinking about, I also bought some organic normal sour cream. And both of these cost like around 70 cents. Then I needed some red onions for a recipe, so I bought a little bag of red onions. Also some tomatoes, bell pepper, and also a cabbage. I know, I bought cabbage and thought I was done with cabbage, but for a recipe I need this, so we have more cabbage. Yay. Also, some limes, a zucchini, and then I saw these spring onions at Netto for half price. They were originally 60 cents and they were reduced to 30 cents. And I don't know why, because they're in perfect shape. But I still had some money, so I decided to buy them. And I don't need them specifically for anything, but maybe we will use them as garnish. Ooh, fancy. Okay, I think this is everything I bought. I hope I didn't forget anything. And then over here, we have the receipts. This is what I bought at Netto for the sour cream, for the spring onions, and the cabbage and the limes. That was €4.64. Then at Lidl, quite a bit. I paid €10.74. This is my oat milk for €2.29 each. Don't look at the deposit. I got that back because I returned some empty bottles. So technically speaking, I didn't pay the deposit, okay? And then over here we have the chickpeas, €3.64 and 59 cents because I kind of split them into two containers, but all in all around €4. Now, I did the math. And this week I paid all in all €24.19. And I also looked at the other weeks, and all in all, if you add up everything I paid for the 4 weeks, we have €99.77. I didn't even use up all the €100. I still have about 23 cents left. Woohoo! And that means I used €24.94 per week. And remember, I know that I used quite a lot of stuff from my pantry, but I also bought stuff that will be in the pantry for a bit longer. Apart from the 4 boxes of pasta, I also bought some veggie broth, all the chickpeas, and some balsamic vinegar. And that I will use for at least a few weeks, maybe longer. And also, please keep in mind, I bought some splurge items, like the vegan steaks or the dried tomatoes. That was quite fancy for a budget meal video. So I think we did quite well. Please ignore Toby in the background. He's watching something funny and he's laughing. Okay, so, but in all seriousness, this is what I used. This is what we stocked up on. So I think it's fair to say that I stocked up on at least as much as I used from my pantry. And if you do not agree, you can tell me in the comments, but I think we did pretty well. And now I will show you what we'll cook this week. For breakfast this week, we're going to make bread because I have still a lot of flour. And since we've done this before, we're going to make it very, very quick. You take 500 grams of flour, 2 teaspoons of salt, 1 sachet of yeast, 20 grams of olive oil, 320 grams of lukewarm water. You put on the lid. You turn the button. You let the Thermomix knead the dough. You grease a loaf pan. You form the dough into a loaf. You put the loaf into the loaf pan. You cover it with a clean dishcloth and let it rise for 40 minutes. Once the dough has risen, cut it with a knife 3 times and brush it with a little bit of water for a better crust. Then bake it in the oven for 30 minutes at 200 degrees Celsius or 390 degrees Fahrenheit. You take it out of the oven and let it cool. And then you enjoy your beautiful bread. As a little bit of prep work, I soaked quite a bit of the black beans and also about half of the kidney beans overnight in cold water. And now I am boiling them on the stove with a little bit of water. Now let me just get a spoon so I can show you. So these are the black beans, already soaked but not fully cooked yet. And back here we have the kidney beans. And I think I'll just cook the rice as well. Yeah, why not? And this is all the rice. I washed it obviously under water, just under the tap. And now I cook it in water with a little bit of salt. And we'll need that for our first meal. The first meal we're going to cook is a Mexican-inspired rice salad. We have here all of our cooked white rice, and we will mix that with the cooked kidney beans. I just cooked them for about 45 minutes in salted water, and that did the trick. Then we will also add our sweet corn. We will chop up and peel the red onion. We will also chop up the tomatoes and the bell pepper. We will add all of that to the bowl. And then we will create a dressing with the vegan mayo, some tomato ketchup, some sriracha, some garlic and onion powder, and some salt and pepper. Oh, and the juice of a lime. And that's everything. We will just mix that up in a bowl and then taste it. Add some more seasoning if we need to. I also have the cooked black beans here in case I feel like we need more beans in there. And then we'll serve it up. This rice salad makes 4 big servings, and I mean really big servings. And I tasted it. The dressing is so good. This works so well together. And full disclosure, I only used about 1/3 of the mayo that was requested in the recipe, because I thought it was way too much. And even with only 1/3 of the mayo, it tastes good. But obviously, if you add more mayo, it tastes creamier. But you do whatever you want. I will leave a link for you to the original recipe in the description box, as always. And I just garnished everything with a little bit of green onion. Doesn't that look nice? Yeah. I think, apart from the fact that it tastes really amazing, this looks so beautiful. It's so colorful. Look at that. Spring in a bowl. And now I will eat this. Nom nom. With our second meal of the week, we will stay in the Mexican cuisine because we're gonna make tacos. And I have to say, it might be totally normal, for example, in the United States to eat tacos frequently. Here in Germany, it's not that much of a thing, but I am very intrigued to see how it will work out. So we will talk about the fillings in a second, but first we will make the tacos from scratch. I looked up a recipe, and apparently you don't need a lot of ingredients, just some flour, some salt, some baking powder, some oil. I have olive oil, so I will use that, and some water. With that, we will form a dough, and then we will knead it for about 2 to 3 minutes. We will let it rest for 15 minutes. We will divide the dough into as many pieces of tacos we want. We will see how much it is. The recipe says 8 pieces, but maybe we'll make more. We'll see. And then we just have to, roll out the dough in flat discs, obviously, like taco shaped. And then we will put them in a pan and fry them, I guess. Is that how you say it? Fry it? Do you fry tacos? Because I don't think we'll be using oil. Anyways, we'll put them in a pan and wait until they're done. That's what we're going to do. For this recipe, we also need a Mexican spice blend. And since I don't have that at home, I use a recipe that I found online, and I'll just mix it together myself. So here we have 3 teaspoons of garlic powder, 3 teaspoons of onion powder, 3 teaspoons of ground cumin, 3 teaspoons of paprika powder, 1 teaspoon of chili powder. Like, we are not that spice tolerant, so, and the original it should be a bit more, but I thought 1 is enough. Then 3 teaspoons of oregano and a little bit of black pepper, and we'll all mix that together, and then we have the hopefully perfect Mexican spice blend. I mean, honestly, I'm not an expert on Mexican cuisine, so I just do what I read on the internet, and I hope that's okay. And here I mixed it all together and tasted it, and I thought, something's missing. I forgot the salt, guys. Obviously, there's now also 1.5 teaspoons of salt in there, and now it will be much better. Forgetting the salt. Oh. And here we have the completed taco shells, and I have to admit, Amartine's a bit proud of them. I did use a little bit of oil in the pan. You might have seen that before. and they were really simple to do. I mean, it takes a while until you have rolled out the dough, and then, you know, you have to fry them in the pan, etc., etc. But I thought especially the dough was so nice. Like, okay, can you can you tell I'm enjoying working with dough lately? This was such a nice dough. It was so nice to roll out. It was so nice to work with. So I kind of enjoyed that. It was a little bit therapeutic. Anyways, we have 12 taco shells. Well, we had 12 taco shells. I already ate one because I obviously needed to try it, and they're really, really good. Now that we have the shells, we will add our other ingredients. We will, first of all, peel and chop up some of these onions, and then we will season the potato cubes with salt, pepper, and fresh garlic. And we will put that in the air fryer and fry it up for about 25 minutes. We will also chop up some of the cabbage and make a quick slaw with some lime juice and some salt. And we will take our cooked beans. Remember, I cooked these before. We'll use these cooked black beans. We put them in a pan with our taco seasoning and some water, and we will make sure that the beans are infused with the taco seasoning. And then we will assemble our tacos with the air-fried potatoes, with the beans, with a little bit of slaw and some sour cream. And here, ladies and gentlemen, is the finished product. Our beautiful homemade taco shells, topped with some of the garlic potatoes, some beans on top, some of the slaw, and some sour cream. And I have to say, it all is delicious. The beans are a little bit spicy and quite salty, but I think it goes well with the sour cream. So if you think it's too salty, just put some sour cream on top. That is very good. And all in all, I'm quite proud of that meal. It was a lot of work. I mean, if you don't want to make the taco shells yourself, just buy some. It's easier, obviously. But I always wanted to try it. And now I've done it. Now I will devour these tacos. Nom, nom, nom. The tacos were delicious, but they were also a lot of work. Meal number 3, however, will not require a lot of work. It is a delicious red lentil curry soup. For that, we need some red lentils, some potatoes, an onion, some garlic, a zucchini, the rest of the carrots, a lot of spices, and some bouillon cubes. We will first peel and chop up the onion, the potatoes, the garlic, and then we will brown up the onion in a big pot with a little bit of oil. We will later add the garlic and also the spices. We will let that bloom, as they say, for a little bit. And then we will add all of the other ingredients, about a liter of water, the bouillon cubes, and then we have just to wait until the lentils and the potatoes are done. That's it. Not a lot of work. By the way, the spices that go into this soup are some curry powder, some garam masala, some paprika powder, some turmeric, and some coriander. And here we have the finished lentil soup. Please ignore the dishwasher in the background. The lentil soup makes 6 big servings. I added some more garam masala and also some lemon juice and some vegan butter because I felt like it was lacking a little bit of richness. So you can never go wrong if you add a little bit of butter. I pureed most of the veggies. There's still some chunks in there, but most of it is pureed. And I decorated, as you can see, with a little bit of green onions and some croutons, and also in this case here with some sour cream. Since I want to store the rest, I did not add sour cream, but this one wants to be eaten right now. So now that we have come to the end of this challenge, let's have a look at what is still in my pantry. I will not go over every single detail of my pantry. If you want to see that, I did that in the first video of this 4-part series. But in terms of what I used up and what I bought and what I still have, this is everything. We have still pasta, obviously. I bought a lot of pasta at the beginning of this series. We still have 2 boxes of pasta. We started with some flour and I still have quite a bit of flour left. We started with black beans and I still have black beans left. We started with kidney beans and I still have, well, only a few, but I do have kidney beans left. We started with a little bit of chickpeas and I stocked up on the chickpeas again. So for the next probably 3 months, I don't have to buy chickpeas anymore. I still have the little bit of couscous left. I did not do anything with that, but it's a dry good. It stays good. We also still have the oats here. The red lentils I used up, so at some point I will restock that. I still have still nearly a whole cabbage. I still have quite a few potatoes. I still have some carrots which are still good in the glass and in the water. Thank you again for that tip. I still have some green onions. I have about half a bag of green peas frozen. I used up my vegan butter, but I also bought it again. And I still have some vegan sour cream that I didn't use that I can use up in the next few weeks. In terms of fruits and veggies, a part of that, we still have onions, red and white ones, but I used up all the garlic, so I need to buy that again. And we also have 1 tomato left, an apple and 3 limes. So to be honest, I think I ended up with as much as I started in my pantry. Yes, I used stuff up, but I also restocked the pantry. So if I were to start this challenge now again, I could use all that. But I'm not going to do that right now. I mean, in case you're interested, we can do that again. But right now, I want to do some other videos. But that is all that is left. Not bad, I'd say. And that, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately brings us to the end of this video and also to the end of this 4-part series. I would like to thank Samantha again for the suggestion because I loved it. I was not as restricted as with the other budget challenge videos, like 10 euros a week. That's really tight, but 25 euros a week, that leaves you quite a bit of wiggle room. And yet 100 euros a month is not a lot of money. And I think it worked quite well. I hope I could give you some ideas of what you could do at home with such a budget. And if you would like me to do it again, I'm open to it. Just drop me a comment down there. But for the moment, I would like to make a few other videos. There was a comment where somebody wanted budget meals for certain occasions, like birthday parties, for example, or a picnic or something like that. So I will get to that over the next few weeks. I hope you will enjoy these videos as well, but if you have any other suggestions of what you would like to see, please just tell me in the comments. I'm really always quite grateful about suggestions. And that is it. Thank you so much for watching this video. In case you enjoyed it and you got anything out of it, feel free to like, subscribe, or comment. It's all absolutely for free, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye.